I had to remove the ZBar clutch cross shaft to get those in. It's not too bad. You just basically remove the C clip or the cotter pin from here, and then there's a bolt here, and other than that, it just pops right out. I think it's easiest to go in through whatever you want to call this, the gills. Right here, I did take off the bracket. I got a POR that there. Once you got it off, it's not too bad. There's the ball. I decided to rebuild the Z-bar. Well, I got all this apart since I had to take it out anyway. This is how it kind of sits in the car. This is the, I pulled this out just to paint it, but it sits in here. This goes into the engine. It's just a ball joint. There's all the pieces that came in the thing. So step one is get this thing all cleaned up. I'll probably put this back in the car. I don't know if I need to get any more for this. So it looks like this clip needs to be the first thing removed. Right here, it's this one right there, this round one. I'm just gonna pry it on out. Okay, clip came out pretty easy. I just had to use the screwdriver and the needle nose. So now all this should start coming apart. So I'll try to get all these pieces out. It's kind of hard doing it one-handed with the camera, so there's definitely a white piece coming out next. I'll try to disassemble this whole thing and lay it out the way I take it apart. Okay, I have this thing basically apart now. I think, yeah, someone's been in here before because there's missing parts on mine. Not sure about this. This is the part that attaches to the block. The new one has a little rubber seal on it. This one just looks felt only. I kind of peeled it down, so it's kind of weird. The other part, let's see, this piece, which actually goes to that bracket and then goes into the end of the screw, like right there, was completely missing on mine. And there was no felt on this side. They give me two, obviously one for the engine block, and I think there's supposed to be one on this side too. Did not come with it. This thing was just absolutely just completely loaded with grease. I took my long extension bar here and just pushed out as much as I could. It's pretty gross. The grease fitting actually isn't leaking or anything, the factory one, so I may just leave it. I think that red cap is for like the older C3s. They didn't have a grease fitting, they just had a little cap in it. So anyway, I'm gonna completely clean this thing up, and then I'll get ready to put it back together, I guess. This is the assembly manual. It doesn't seem to mention anything about a felt ring over here. I assume that's what number 5 is. There's obviously that piece that I was missing. So I think I'm going to put the felt ring on the other side anyway, even though it doesn't look like the assembly manual mentions it though. Probably doing it wrong. Who knows. Okay, I have this pretty much cleaned up. All I did is shove wads of toilet paper or paper towel through it, and took my extension, shoved it through, and get all the grease out. This is how I'm going to install the engine side. I put this felt thing there. I assume we'll just kind of pop it in here, keep the felt kind of like that. I'm just going to pack it with some wheel bearing grease, and then the other side I'll just build it and put it together. Came with a new nut, but I think I'm going to use the factory one. So I put the white seal, the taper part towards the ball. Kind of do it the opposite way on this side. And get it on in there. Now I need to put the spring, that thing. Okay, it's pretty much ready to go back on the car. I did pull that back out and grease it. I know my last video I just put it in dry, but that was just showed how it went in. Put that in, put the clip in. I did have to get the channel locks out just to kind of squeeze it to get it to pop down. This is the block side. I'll go install that. I think I'm going to take the felt and put it on the end of here. You know, when I install it on the end, it'll just be kind of hanging out like that to seal the grease in. That's pretty much about it. On the car goes. There's still 2 springs I got to connect. One here and another one like that looks like this, but it goes to the throw-out fork. There's the end point installed on the block. I access it through the gills here, or whatever you call this. There's the bracket right there. I can't reach it, but looks like should line up through those headers. Okay, here it is after it's relatively installed. I still obviously need to connect this back up to the throw-out bearing. I haven't torqued anything down this far. There it is. This side goes. I did install that little clip that wasn't in there before. Seems to, it's kind of hard to see, but it does fit through the headers okay with some decent clearance, even though I'm still going to wrap them. So now it's just a matter of putting the 2 springs back on. I took out the PVC canister, obviously, to get to this. I don't think you had to. You could probably do it without, but made it easier for me. All right, here it is, completely installed, minus cutter pins. This is one of the springs I had to take off. I just put it back on by hand. It's not very hard. The other spring I had to take off is that one right there. Also not too difficult, just did it with my hands. And then that threaded piece at the top, which is missing a cotter pin. It'd be nice if these kits would have came with cotter pins, and those springs actually would have been an option, would have been nice, but there it is. It seems pretty good. My last one did have a little bit of play in it, and this is pretty solid. Of course, I'm not exactly sure if I torqued that nut. Right there, I mean, I really didn't torque it. I just kind of cranked it down until it felt pretty tight. Taking it off, it was almost completely loose, so I'm gonna have to look that up. But that's pretty much about it. Wasn't too bad of a job, actually.